Hey everyone, the boot camp is filling up. We have arrivals here grabbing their armies. And before they go rushing to the tables, I thought it's a good chance to have a look at them. I've grabbed Killian here, well, he's not really little, is he? He's quite tall. Our tall Infinity. Well, don't load it over me.
Oh, fair
not
enough,
that
fair
short, for goodness sakes. Our Infinity expert. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, we're going to have a look at these
you're very modest. Infinity expert, yeah.
Try buying shoes when you're my height. You're size 14 feet, for God's sake.
Right, we'll mosey on. Right, now, just as we come through the door, first thing you'll notice is unlike the other boot camps, we've laid it out differently. Why? Because we already have loads of people in building the armies and stuff they've got.
Armies already.
And this particular boot camp would have been a real pain in the backside to try and set up all these tables on the Saturday or even tonight, because I'm pretty sure that once people have got their armies up and running, they'll probably want to start.
Yeah, we want to get the games of this quick.
Stuck into
and the tables are gorgeous. They're really nice.
Yes, tables. Let's see. Right, first one we've arrived at here.
So this is a good looking Hackisland themed table. There's a lot of nice terrain on these buildings are really nice as well, and there's a nice area here in the middle. This is an attractive table and it's going to be good for gameplay as well.
Yeah, from a building point of view, we're using the Plasticraft stuff. We're using the foreground Adobe buildings.
These are amazing.
When these came in, I didn't immediately think Infinity, and then we did this and I was like, oh, that works quite well.
These will be good for a number of games though. They're so nice, really good.
Yeah, these tables came together reasonably quickly actually. They were the last to be worked on.
Yep.
All the other tables were worked on first. So we've got some polystyrene raised areas and we're doing a lot of sanding. So it's just a big block of polystyrene and I've carved all the stonework into it with like a soldering iron, which works great. And then we've done a couple of coats of sand.
Looking good. And these planters as well, just nice attractive areas on top of it, so it's not all one monotone colour as well. It's a nice table to look at. You know?
I'm smiling because Warren's crawling around and I'm going to point out.
I'm trying to get past without going in front of the shot. Hello!
Yeah, the planters, that's the thing now. That's the thing I like about Infinity, because it's high sci-fi.
Yeah.
You get the opportunity to put plants and stuff in, whereas in a 40k game, you're not really going to decorate plants and things.
House of Skulls maybe, but that's about it.
Moving on, we've another
another
table. So basically, we've got a big palace-y area that's lording it over basically the slums.
Exactly, yeah. Nice high areas here. You can tell the difference between these buildings, very high sci-fi, gold-coloured, nice plants in here, and then down here, rougher, older-looking buildings. Yeah, maybe a couple of industrial features as well. So it's a nice contrast.
From a gameplay point of view, we'll not go into too much detail because we've got a whole room of tables.
I'd be here all day.
What sort of effect is towers this height going to have in a game of Infinity? We've got an awful lot of cover that people be running around in, but is it still worth trying to get people up on these towers?
If you have any infiltrating troops, especially if you have an infiltrating sniper, you want him up here. If he can seize this middle ground or this middle ground, he can dominate the centre of the battlefield. In addition, because each person's deployment zone is going to be on either side of here, getting to the middle ground and getting fire lanes will be very important. This is going to be an interesting table to play on, I think.
Well, now to mention fire lanes, get a close up of this bit.
Yeah, smart idea on this one actually. This is very good.
All right, now you would think, you'll just be able to shoot right through from side to side, but no! These arches are all open on this side, but there's a closed set of arches on this side, and there's also a closed set on this side.
Yep.
So you can't just fire through.
Nope, there's no table-along fire lanes here at all.
We're going to condense some action into the courtyard.
That's going to be a killing zone. That's just.
You think that's going to be Killian?
That's going to be Killian. Yeah.
What? I have to try. Come on, let's move on. Right, now we're moving away from the desert. We'll probably come back to it later because we've another row. We're moving into our city zone.
Yes, this is a nice table as well. These are MicroArt Studio buildings.
They are, and the mat's really cool. Now the thing is, you can put these buildings and stuff down on a grass table or something like that, or a flat table, which I've done, and they look pretty good. But to see these mats actually, I was surprised at how quickly you can take just a few items, chuck them out on this, and it starts to actually look like something. Yeah. We actually set a table up in the studio.
That's right.
For doing some filming for the Infinity series, right? And we didn't use a textured map. We used just a green grass mat, and we put some buildings and stuff down on it.
Just didn't look as good.
And we dumped it about half an hour later. We're like, this isn't working. We threw this on. And I was like, oh, that works really well on the camera.
What's nice about this as well is you don't have to go with the roads, but the roads provide nice ways to block up your terrain. Yeah. So you can see that these now become areas that you can put terrain on either side of, and all of a sudden you've got a very nice themed table as well.
Yeah.
It's very nice. In terms of just even gameplay for this one, this is a bit more open than this one. You can see that there's blocks of habitat around the place. There's some nice high areas for troops to play on around here. And then it's broken up by these actually quite attractive little tree planters. I mean, what are these made of? These are really nice.
I talked about this in a vlog during the week.
Oh, okay.
These are just the little caps off our black shelving that we have in the Hobby Lab. We had some stuff left over that I went and used, and I was looking at it going, if I make that look kind of concretey, we could use them for tree planters.
Yes.
Moving on.
Now this is another matted one.
Yes.
Yep.
So basically, if I was going to give it some story on this particular world, we're moving out of the city zone into the recycling sort of zone. We've got some bits of old tags and stuff that have been destroyed that are going through this. So
this is a lower table, so there's not a lot of height in this one. Everything's about the same height.
Yes.
There's some nice buildings here and over there, so there are still some sort of relatively high points. So you can't completely dominate the battlefield as you if there were a sniper tower somewhere. What's nice about this one is there's a lot of grubbiness. There's not places to jump between covers. Here to here to here to here. Maneuverability is going to be key on this one. Obviously the roads are big fire lanes, but if you can control access to these fire lanes...
You know, compared to some of the other tables, this one does have quite a lot of fire lanes.
True, but
you're going to have to you're going to have to be deploying smoke and stuff to get along these roads. Not like the Hack Islam tables, they're pretty dense.
Yeah. This one is going to be about controlling fire lanes, moving from cover to cover, and trying to move forward, and maybe trying to seize some of these high points for your better troops. But this one's going to be an interesting one to play on as well. Also looks just really nice. The little tag parts here inside are a nice addition. It fits very well.
And we covered these in a vlog.
Yeah.
If you didn't see it, these are basically just the wee tubs that you get in, what is it,
one of the multi-toolbox things.
Yeah,
storage
that we all store bits in.
Everyone does it.
I spied them all and I went, you know what, they'll make actually really good containers.
I'm going to try that at home as well. I've got tons of these lined up at my house. Absolutely.
Right, moving on. We're coming out of the zone where the scrap arrives and gets sorted into bins and stuff, and then it gets delivered along a conveyor in the bins.
Yep, nice conveyor belt here in the middle, which is pretty cool.
And then I'm guessing someone sorts them into containers and they get taken away.
Yep.
If I have to give it some sort of story, there you go. There's some story.
Another gaming mat. This is the Operation Ice Storm theme mat from Micro Studio as well.
Yes.
Very, very nice. And again, a bit more colourful than the other ones.
This is my favourite mat.
Yeah.
Because it's so punchy. As soon as you threw it down, it was just like, oh, look at all the colours on that.
There's so much detail as well. There's so much just writing about the place and some things. You know, there's a lot of detail on this mat.
It's a double-edged sword, though, the detail.
Yeah.
Because you look at the detail, and I lay things out to match the detail of the mats.
Yeah.
And then Infinity players come along and go, no, I'll move that there, and I'll move that there, and I'll move that there to block all the lanes of fire. And I'm like, but it's not sitting where it's supposed to sit anymore. Well, you know, that's the way the game plays.
You build it to a theme and players change it for gameplay. Indeed.
And then we've got another one.
Yep, this is pretty much more or less the same as this one. Very similar layout. Same mat as well, same terrain. By the way, this terrain here, the catwalks, these are going to be interesting when the gameplay starts. These catwalks are going to be good because they represent long fire lanes this way, but short fire lanes this way. And because of the armour on either side, moving between these to get flanking shots on the enemy. Yeah. That's the tactic for this table.
When we had these without the armour plates, we got a load of armour plates sent through from Micro to put on the side of these. This was a total death trap. If you stepped up here, you were dead.
Going up high without any kind of cover is almost certain death, but with these up here now, this becomes a much more viable way to attack the battlefield. You have to be careful of these long fire lanes.
Yeah.
But going across this way, you can dominate the area below, which is quite actually fluffy up in the catwalk shooting down.
It's cool because I wasn't here when they got up armoured. Apparently we set Carlos to work. we absorbed Vin. Carlos, be my employee for a few hours and set these up. And he did, and he's done a cracking job on them.
More scrap on this table as well, so these are incidental cover. These are quite nice as well. Same as the recycling plant as well.
Oh yeah. All the scraps, just leftovers from building all this sort of terrain.
That's a really good idea. Looks really good.
Right, let's move on.
Now these tables.
Well, we'll come round here.
Okay. Completely different change of pace here for these, I think.
Not all. Yes, completely different.
So while previously we were industrial, these are now very much jungle. These could be in either Continental or these could be on Dawn, so these are sort of jungle forest planets. A lot of military stuff on these as well. And there's then the key feature here is the river going through the middle.
The river is good.
Mm-hmm.
It's brook or stream. Not a river, apparently it's not wide enough for a river. It's a brook or a stream, apparently. Anyway, yes. We had in the vlogs again covering it. We had bits of grass mat and stuff left over from bolt action, but we didn't have grass mats in large enough sections to cover the 4x4s. So we stuck some
No.
It's a pleather or something. The blue pleather or something it's
Oh,
called.
yeah.
Up the middle.
That's really nice. And actually, I would have thought this would come like this. It looks so good.
No, it's all taped. It's all taped and glued and stuff. Come on around here.
let's
You
have a
can
look.
see it.
No, I had not noticed that at all.
But I'm not going to go into any more detail about that. Let's actually get back to talking about
Okay, so
board.
the first thing you see when you see
Yeah.
this is obviously there's a river in the middle, or a stream in the middle.
The brook.
Yeah, the second one is this massive armoured bulwark all the way across.
Yeah. Now, this stuff is from Warmill, and there's been a box of it sitting in the hobby lab for about 3 years.
3 years?
Yeah, we had it when it first came out, and we showed it off. I think on a weekend or an unboxing or something. But we never got the chance to do anything with it. And then this boot camp came up, and we went, oh, this is our chance to whip out this Warmill stuff and give it a good old spraying up.
It's nice. It looks really good.
It is good, and we've laid it this way so that it doesn't end up being a complete barrier, because we have a little bit of a barrier in so much as we have a river in the middle of the table.
Yeah.
Now, but we did build these pontoons.
That's right. The pontoons plus this are going to divide the table into two. So you have 2 specific zones in this table. You're probably not going to have a lot of troops moving between them because of this big bulwark in the way.
Yeah.
But the pontoon provides sort of like a choke point across, fire lane across, and choke point on either side. Seizing this terrain here to cover across the river is going to be very interesting.
Is this another place where people are going to be smoking?
I think
well,
so,
if you're going to
yeah.
run across something like that, do you smoke it and then run through it?
You'd have to. It's too open otherwise. Unless you've got a fast troop or a troop with camouflage, you can run across that.
I believe you could just bound the river though.
There are some troops, yeah.
I was talking to Carlos and he said you could just bound from there into the boat and then out again.
Yeah, if there's a boat in the middle like that, you can just jump across. There are some troops as well who have aquatic terrain, which means they just move through this without any penalties.
Yeah.
So they just go straight across. But yeah, this is going to be an interesting table for that reason. Bulwark in the middle, choke points here and here, and then obviously there's the
big flyer.
big flyer right in the middle.
John, it's looking quite nice.
What is?
The big flyer.
Oh yeah, don't talk about that.
Oh, is this like your stomping number 2?
Yes.
The weathering's really nice, the detail's really nice. This is all sprayed on and stuff as well. It's
Yeah. The thing I like about this though is it gives us I like having plants and stuff. When you think Infinity, you don't normally think forests.
No, you think
So I was
about urban
really,
areas, yeah.
I'm really excited about let's make forest boards and let's get them full of the KM trees and our foreground trees and stuff, because we had all this from the last boot camp.
Yeah.
You know, you're going to want to reuse it, and it gave us the optimum chance to. Oh, I'm just going to fix this. Someone's moved that to reuse it, and then this stuff, the hard foam terrain. Let's go this way.
Yep, another similar table here.
It is, right? We've got 4 of these, but once you go from that table to here, suddenly you encounter all this really cool
Yes,
Antonosi's workshop
This
stuff.
is from the Kickstarter. This is really nice stuff.
It is really nice. Again, we've had this in here for a while. Now it comes pre-painted in all different colours, but we've sprayed it all up
It's very nice.
to theme it all together.
It looks like somebody's jungle base, you know, sort of like a military outpost somewhere. It looks really, really good. And then you've got these catwalks now going across the water.
Yes, the catwalks are from Arsenal, I
The
believe.
Warsaw, yeah.
So it's a great mishmash. We've got Antonosities, Warmill, what did I say? Warsenal,
Warsaw,
and microart,
with the hard foam.
and loads of trees.
Yep. And the trees as well will provide line of sight blocking terrain on this table.
Yeah.
So you won't be able to see through the trees. You can hug the corners, hug the sides to get cover.
That's a question. Now, as soon as you guys came through the door, I went, we have trees like this. Can you see me? Have you got it?
So there's a round base of a certain diameter, and there's the tree.
So there's no cover there, you can see through it. So I asked, do we need to start getting stones and stuff and stacking them up around that to block the cover? But you and Carlos kind of went, no, we'll just treat it as like a cylinder, is it?
The same way that you would treat a smoke template, where the template itself has an infinite height, and the whole the area in there is smoke. Same for these trees, anywhere around the base of the tree.
Yeah.
So a cylinder all the way up around that is cover, because the tree occupies that volume. Likewise, if these are all grouped together, that's now a solid block that can't be seen through.
So it's being treated as air terrain then, this
Yeah.
group of trees.
And we're just going to say that if troops can't move through it, you have to move around it. Even there are specific rules for moving through trees and how it affects bullets, how it affects what you can see inside. But for simplicity's sake, this will work really, really well without the massive areas of forest.
Cool. Right, we'll move on. It's another forest. The forest board is ginormous.
More Antonosity stuff. It's very
Yes.
nice. These, by the way, are very nice. These are just toys, aren't they? Repainted?
They're just toys.
Yeah.
And then we had
Look at that. It's exactly the right scale. That's the best thing about it. It's exactly the right scale.
these are just toys, and then we had leftover sort of walkways and stuff.
Yeah.
So we thought, oh, we'll make pontoons and stuff for the boats.
The thing about this table is, see this piece of terrain over here?
Yeah.
That's an excellent sniper position right there. That's the. If I had a sniper in my army or anybody with good shot, right there, he will take anybody apart over here.
So anybody getting that side of the table is going to go straight away there.
Right there. There's another spot over here, but it's not quite as good. That's the one you want right there.
Well, we skipped actually a couple of sniping points on this table. For example, this one's got quite a lot of raised parts.
It has. Over here and over here. Obviously, the first feature you see here is the landing pad.
Yes.
So you could start a guy up here, and he's probably going to do, but he's not moving anywhere. It's a long way down from the top of that. Absolutely. So if he's going up here and he goes down, you're not going to have a chance to heal him, unfortunately. But he'll take over this whole area. And then there's another one here. That's a sniper tower from Warsaw, I think.
Yeah, it's another Arsenal.
That's actually called a sniper tower as well. The terrain piece. So
It's just called Sniper Tower.
Called the sniper tower. The Comanche sniper tower. So it's ideal for its job. That's exactly what it says on the tin.
Right, we'll move past this. Well, you can have a quick look at it, but it's the Forest World Continued, and it's got the really big building from Antonosities.
This is the tag hanger, I think. This is gorgeous, by the way. Just look at the detail inside. It's so nice.
Well, for the purposes of what we've done, is we're basically treating it as it's like our. What's a boathouse? It's a boathouse!
It's a boathouse.
Yeah, it's a boathouse.
Exactly what a boathouse is called.
I was struggling for the words and then it just popped out. It's a boathouse.
And if you think about this being the start of the Broker Stream and the table at the end, this is all one nice sort of forest area.
As I destroy it.
You haven't even fought any battles in it yet, Lloyd.
Stop filming! Stop filming! Right, come on, we'll move on.
So this one.
Now, here's Warren's epic building!
The Tag Arena Tower. Beautiful. It's all lit up. It's looking fantastic. And then so much nice terrain around here as well. Where did you get these cactuses?
My sister made those cactus.
They're really, really nice.
Are they cacti?
Cacti, cactuses, cacti.
Yeah, it'd be cacti.
Cacti.
Because there's loads of them. My sister made these.
And look, different designs as well. So look, tubular ones there, and then obviously the classic cactus type. They're so nice and they're so fluffy for this table as well.
Whoa.
No, I'm breaking stuff. You got me started.
There's even ones with thorns, so be careful if you're lifting them. But yes, this is our tag arena.
Oh, this is cool.
That's what it's built for. I mean, that's why we've got some tags sitting out on it.
We got some tags out here just to show what's going to be happening.
If I lift this boy and put him down there,
So that's a Jotun there.
you can see we've got all these canyons and stuff. And then if canyons weren't enough, we've got like hard points to duck into. We've got other set on terrain that's been set down to hide behind. And we're gonna have what, at least 16, 17, probably like 20 tags actually running around on here.
A special type of gameplay type for this. This is loaded up Mario Kart, I believe, so it's going to be really interesting when we see this up and running.
Well, he came in and he asked, do we have any crates? So I think he has an idea in mind that you have to
You
pick
just
up.
might see them scattered about the place. So yeah, don't know if we can reveal the full rules for it yet, but it's pretty good.
I think it has something to do with crates. Let's move along.
Yeah, because it's split into two halves here.
Now this is all dead zone stuff. All sprayed up white and airbrushed to death, and some cool lighting rigs and stuff put in.
Put in the middle, yeah.
And
Where's this terrain from?
This is all dead zone as well.
Oh, I see.
All of it, apart from the carved
all
stuff,
of it, yeah.
which is all carved out of polystyrene. Again, this is like a carving job with like a.
Is it polystyrene cutter, hot wire cutter?
No, it's not a hot wire cutter. It's a soldering iron. I was using a gas one. I might cover that in a hobby lab actually. How to make this stuff, because a lot of people ask, "Where'd you get that stuff?" And I was like, "I made it." "How did you make it?" "I might show you in a hobby lab."
Yeah, I mean this board with its canyons to zip through. You can climb on top of the terrain. You can even climb up here if you want to as well. Tags are quite good at climbing up structures.
But if there's 20 of them, surely you'd be dead.
Depends. If he gets up there and he's got a powerful weapon, if he has for example, if he's up there and it's a Dragos, well, let's say it's a Dragos and he has the hyper rapid magnetic cannon, which is something like a sniper rifle, but fires 5 shots of armor-piercing ammo. I think he's just going to level everybody around him.
It'd be pretty epic actually if he jumped up there and just like Patoom! 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 And tags blowing up
He'd
everywhere.
clear the field in no time. So if somebody manages to get that and get up there, you're going to see some carnage.
Yeah. What about this stuff? Now I wasn't sure about this stuff. The idea is if I'm going to give this story, is this big tower. If you back away off, the big tower is like it's like a portable arena thing that gets shipped around the desert world.
These really cool cameras here as well.
And they drop it down, and it's for like broadcasting tag arena death matches. So it's got the camera rays, it's got the lighting rig, it's got the transmitters to send the
really
signals
nice transmitter on the roof. That's
all
very
out
nice.
over the world. And then this bit is for fancy pants people to sit in and watch the action.
This is like the executive box where they're going to sit and watch the tag battle.
Exactly, but if I got my tag, I'd be charging into the executive box and just kicking 10 shades of everything out of them.
Exactly.
Come on, get out of here!
And if you're up here, nice cover, being able to shoot out as well. You're probably a little bit exposed, more so if you've been in the canyon, but I guess nice high position. You can take out guys below you.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering. Do you think there's any reason to run up here?
I think if you got up there and you had a nice long range weapon and you wanted to pick off guys coming towards you, this is like let's use analogies here. This is your camping spot.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sit up here and camp. I just hope that they don't all rush you at once.
I'm really interested to see how this plays out. I'm interested, will everyone camp in corners, or will some epic dude just go, and charge along?
Bear in mind as well, it's going to depend on how fast your tag is too. Because if you have a nippy quick tag, you can zip through, avoiding fire. That's good.
Think?
Yeah, I think so. It'd be pretty cool.
Right, well, that's later in the week. I think it's Sunday. I don't know, maybe we'll play it tomorrow, but I think it's Sunday.
Yeah, there's some test game on it. Yeah.
I'm going to leave it at that, because we're going to have to start getting on to talking about people and what they're building and stuff.
Yeah, I've got a lot of models to build.
So I'll see you again in a little while.